Am I the asshole? For leaving my sister's wedding early because she kept my husband out of pictures. My sister Anne got married on Saturday. My husband of 7 years, Mark, was there with me, and up until one point, it was an amazing evening. After the ceremony, Anne wanted a picture with all of our siblings. There's 5 of us and their respective partners, so we started lining up. When Anne saw that my husband was standing next to me, she shook her head and said something about him ruining the aesthetic. Apparently, her plan was to put one man and one woman next to each other alternately. My youngest sister, who doesn't have a partner and was standing on the very side, offered to stand between the two of us, so we could be close and Anne's wish would still be respected. I thought that was a great solution, but Anne disagreed and told Mark to get out of the picture. He's quite introverted and tries to avoid confrontation under all circumstances, so he simply complied and told me not to get angry, but it was obvious that he was hurt and disappointed by being left out. Obviously, it didn't stop me from getting angry and I walked away with him. I can understand that Anne wants her wedding pictures to look exactly how she imagined them, but I think that the idea my younger sister proposed was very reasonable. I congratulated Anne and her husband one last time, but then I said my goodbyes. When I was asked why we were leaving early, especially before taking the pictures, I said that I didn't feel like our presence was wanted. We left before dinner was served and I took Mark out to his favorite restaurant to cheer him up a little. Anne has texted me since saying that I was being overdramatic and making a fuss over nothing. Our parents have tried to remain neutral, but except for my youngest sister, the rest of the family supports Anne and thinks that leaving early was going too far and that I should have sucked it up instead of ruining her big day. Edit typos. Edit 2 because there was some confusion. My husband is able-bodied and white, so is most of my family, but we are indeed a gay couple. Not the asshole. Anne wanted a picture with all of our siblings. There's 5 of us and their respective partners. But Anne disagreed and told Mark to get out of the picture. Anne did not get the picture asked for. When you look back at the pictures, your husband's absence will be abundantly clear. Don't blame you for leaving. Not the asshole at all. I'm so sorry you feel you even need to ask this, and was being unkind and you stuck up for your husband. If she was just focused on girl-boy bizarre, then she would have been okay with your younger sister in between. But she wasn't. She wanted him out of the photo. Why? Probably homophobic or something. Not the asshole at all. Sending you love because drama and BS like this is exhausting. Not the asshole. She expects you do celebrate her marriage while she disrespects yours. Good on you for respecting your husband. Wow. I've never gotten an award before. Thank you all for reminding me that, although there are serious assholes in this world, they are not the majority. Peace and love. Not the asshole. Your sister was being homophobic, and you did exactly what any husband should do. You could have given your sister the option of either this compromise or we're leaving because I won't let my husband forced out of family photos when everyone else's spouses are in it. Or something similar, but I doubt it would have done any good. Give your husband a hug and tell him this internet stranger is sorry that he went through this. You stood up for your husband. He's your nuclear family. Your sister is an AH, and the relatives who support her are enabling her behavior. Her excuse of not wanting your husband in the picture was perfectly solved by your younger sister. It's obvious she just didn't want your husband in the picture, cause a picture with all her siblings with their partners would just not be complete without your husband of 7 years. Not the asshole. Love the way you took your husband to dinner instead. Your sister wanted a picture of you as she desired you to be, not as you actually are. Imagine if this were any other male-female couple, would sister have made the same request, and would the flying monkeys be flinging poo like they are now? Good call, walking away. Your presence, as you exist, was not desired. No reason to stick around and be quietly insulted. If the bride can't even manage to be nice on her big day, I can't imagine how poorly she treats you on normal days. Not the asshole. Overdramatic and making a fuss over nothing. Odd, why is it when someone stands up for themselves or others it's always met with some manner of that quote? Not the asshole, OP. Your sister was being obviously homophobic. You did the right thing. Not the asshole, you didn't ruin Anne's big day. She ruined it herself. Your sister tried to turn her homophobia into an aesthetic, my goodness. The nerve of this woman. I'm so sorry for you and your partner having to experience that. Whoa, I've never gotten an award before. Thank you so much. Tell your sister you'll see her next Tuesday, she sounds like she deserves it. Not the asshole. Your sister's a homophobe. Clearly not the asshole. I was being overdramatic and making a fuss over nothing. But she wasn't. You did the right thing by sticking up for your spouse. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Tell your siblings that homophobia isn't part of your aesthetic. Not the asshole. You stood by your husband and that was way more important than some pictures. If your sister cares more about aesthetics and pretty pictures than your and your spouse's feelings, she cannot judge people for walking away from that. People with feelings are not props and dolls to shove around. The only person unreasonable and dramatic was your sister for souring the mood and excluding your husband and starting that whole argument. Not the asshole and is homophobic and needs to be called out on it in front of your family. Not the asshole. Has your sister always been shamelessly homophobic, or has the wedding brought out a new side of her? Not the asshole. I think everyone knows why she did what she did. She didn't want to have to acknowledge a gay couple in her perfect wedding picture. I don't blame you for leaving. Not the asshole. Shocking that your 18-year-old sister is so much more mature than the elder one. Has your sister ever shown herself to be homophobic? As that's the vibe I'm getting. She's a gigantic asshole. I'm sorry this happened to you. You and your husband deserve multiple huge apologies. ETA, I would have left too. What she did is so dehumanizing. I wouldn't have felt comfortable hanging around her wedding. Not the asshole. What was the reason for all the other spouses to be included and not your husband? What is the issue your sister has with him? Because it can't be the aesthetic, that just makes no sense. I'd have left as well. Ask your siblings what they would have done after having their spouse dissed. Not the asshole. As many others have pointed out, the issue wasn't with the aesthetic face with rolling eyes, it was the fact that your gay relationship would be shown in the picture. Not the asshole. You did try to suck it up by going along with your younger sister's suggestion. That still wasn't good enough. The bride didn't want a gay couple in her pictures. Well, she got what she wanted. Not the asshole. Excluding your partner as the only partner of all the siblings made it quite clear she is homophobic. Good on you for standing up for your partner. Not the asshole. I am not sure if I am more mad about your sister being homophobic or your family for being bystanders. Not the asshole. Excluding your husband was cold, and you had no obligation to stand for it. Not the asshole. Choosing photo aesthetic over people is always bad, I'd have left too. Not the asshole. Sounds like her preferred aesthetic is just homophobia. Unfortunately sounds like Anne is homophobic and she's covered it up okay till she had to look at a picture on her wall. I perfect score. Think you did the right thing making a stand for your husband. Good on you and little sis. Not the asshole. I think not including your husband in the photo for bullshit aesthetic reasons was your sign to exit. Not the asshole. It's amazing how many PPL think a wedding gives them the right to be a jerk. Good on you for sticking up for your husband. Hope you both enjoyed the remainder of your evening after